So for today's practice, as you come into whatever seat is comfortable for you, whether it's hips on heels as I am or sitting cross-legged, just take a moment. We'll just take a minute here to close our eyes, to feel into our body, to tap into the breath, to even just take this moment to pause long enough to explore what it is that brought you to your mat this morning, or whenever you're doing this as a recording in future. Take a deep, full breath into your back body. And then sigh completely, relaxing your abdomen, your low belly, and do that again. Deep breath into your back. And a sighing release. Gather your hands at your heart center. Roll the heads of your arm bones, your shoulders up and back. Create some space between your ears and your shoulders and rest your thumbs to your heart center. Honor the practice as it's come to you, however it arrives and whatever shows up. Bow your head in honor of the land in which you're practicing from, the indigenous connection, and also to the roots of the yoga practice in India. We'll take a gentle Om together. Inhale. As you release your hands and blink your eyes to open, we'll start today in a standing forward fold. So coming up to your feet roughly hip distance apart, parallel, letting the head fall heavy, give it a nod yes, and a little shake no. You can have your fingertips on the ground just to support, or you can catch opposite elbow or wrist. Take another deep breath in and a big sigh. And tap into the breath of Ujjayi. Sink back into your heels, flutter your toes off the mat. Then lean into your toes and very lightly lift your heels, like you could slide a piece of paper underneath them. And then find the middle ground between forward and back. Push the outer pinky toes outwards. You feel your outer legs. And then pull into the inner edges of the feet. You feel your inner legs. Never overworking any one direction, just finding center. And then release your arms fully. Bend your knees deeply and begin to ragdoll to come up to standing slowly, vertebra on vertebra upon vertebra. And at the very top, you can roll the heads of the arm bones up and back. Sigh the breath. You can catch your hips with your hands and shift onto your left foot. Pick up your right heel and just give it a couple rolls through your ankle. So feeling the touch points of the pinky toe to the big toe, and they may lift, but keeping a connection to the ground really key. And we're not dropping in the left side. If anything, we're lifting a little more. Go the other way. Might feel little pops or cracks in the joint here. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up, opening up every space along the way. Switch feet onto the right foot. If you feel the right hip pop out, squeeze in and then roll the ankle. Now with purpose, also pressing down through that left toe mound. And then go the other way. Sometimes we notice one might be a little more challenged than the other, so it might be a little more sticky. Yeah, and then come back to center and bring your feet right together. Bring your hands to your knees and just do a little circle with your knees. Looking at the toes, you'll probably see the feet roll from left to right, getting still into the ankle joints, but starting to move up the chain of the legs through the knees, Go the other way and up into the hips. The knees are a hinge joint, so they generally don't go side to side, but they do have leeway there. So we do have a little flexibility left and right. Good. At the very top, catch your hips, step your feet wide edge of your mat. So you're a little bit wider than hip distance, toes out, heels in, and then bend your left knee, pull your hips back, let your heart drift forward, and then bend your right knee and come on back up. So a little bend left, pull back, little bend right, and back to center. 2 more like that. Now notice the quality of your breath. Can you bring that whispering Ujjayi really present and aware? Well, I'm throwing in a third here. And then we'll go the other way. So building into mobility, flexibility, and stability. So moving everything in a direction and then asking it to work a little above and below the joints so that you don't feel there's any compression anywhere. Good. 1 more. Now at the top, turn the toes slightly more forward. They don't have to come directly unless that feels okay. But you'll take your torso now over your left leg. Let your head and your heart fall heavy, cross over to the opposite leg and come all the way up. Now it's best to close your eyes if you can here, or be really slow moving if your eyes are open so you don't get too dizzy or disorientated. And though you may feel little areas of tension or pressure, there's no force into those areas. So try not to push, but be aware of. And notice the more you move, much like more water moves along the ridge, like a rocky shoreline, it smooths the surface. Things start to feel less grippy. Do 1 more of this direction, nice and slow. And then go the other way. Notice if you're holding the head as you bow forward and around, and see if you can let something go in the upper neck. Let there be a full release of tension. That the expansion of your breath is moving this wave in your body. And then allowing it all to subside. No wave is not a wave forever. Do 1 more. As you find your way to the very top, step your feet back to parallel and ensure that they are parallel. So your heels go slightly out. We don't want to have external rotation, but we do want to have alignment in the hips. So lower body stays stationary, upper body freedom now. So you'll take the arms out, thumbs in, fingers wrap around, elbows really straight, tiny circles forward, like you're skipping a really big rope. What tends to happen here is the elbows start to relax as fatigues might settle in. So get a little bigger. As you get bigger, notice how you go a little slower because there's more space to cover, greater distance. And then get a little bigger. And then as big as you can circle, but 3, really purposeful, slow, expressive. So you're stretching all the muscles across the chest, the backs of the shoulders. And then when you get to the bottom of the third one, take the arms straight out again, hands still in the fist, and go the other way, like you're doing a back jump rope. So backwards. So little circles to start. They might start quick. There might be some fatigue here. Breathe with it. Get a little bit bigger. If your shoulders are like mine, they might be popping and cracking a little bit. Stick with it as long as there's no pain, no pressure. And as you get bigger, get slow like a Gumby, sort of pulling on your arms left and right. 3 here, biggest expression. Stretch every direction. Good, last one. And then shake it off. Now you shake that off, arms wide, right over left, left over right, right over left, left over right. And now notice into your ankles, your knees, your hips, that there's a softness to your lower body that's absorbing extra energy, extra momentum energy. Good. Now we're going to go up and over. So you'll go one side, then the other, one side, then the other. You might feel a little heat building. So as we've moved up the body, the shoulders, when they're worked, often brings quite a lot of heat to the core. And let your hip really move to the off side. So you're starting to incorporate the whole side waist. Soften the ankles, the knees, and the hips. Good, back to center. Release the arms, take a deep breath in. A sigh. Good, right palm open. Just a serving platter behind you, over your head, and then around in front. So a lot of today's movements you'll see in happy hips and shoulders, but we've sort of shrunk it down into whole body warm up, top to bottom. One more on this side. Relax your left arm fully. Sometimes we don't even notice how much we're holding it. And then switch hands, so let your left hand work. Right arm like a little spaghetti noodle. Up and over. And around. And every now and again, give your opposite arm a little shake. So you know that you're not engaging there. Good, one more. Excellent. Now, both arms together. We'll stay really steady and tall here. Try not to let the head move forward or back. The eyes are going to look for the hands to come overhead and then go around by your sides. Big breath in. Big breath out. Last one. Full breath. So you're pulling the diaphragm down as the arms go up, getting that full stretch inner body, and then letting it come back to center. Good. Let's relax from here. Come to the top short edge of your mat. Sweep up as you breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out, all the way down. Lift halfway and step your left foot back. Now with this lunge, we're going to keep the fingertips either on the floor ahead of or beside your foot, or have your hands on blocks if that's something you've got or you need. And you're going to pop your left leg up and then down and then up. Now we're focusing on the left leg going up and down, but the work here is in your right glute. So it's a push up off your right leg. Now this is to wake up the right glute, the right quadricep and calf muscles. So building a little more strength. Do about 10. They don't have to match the breath, but you have stability for your hands. Try not to put the weight in your hands, put most of it in your foot. One more. And then pause, lower your left knee, straighten your front leg, and lift your toes and eventually your whole foot without letting your knee drop. Now from here, feels okay on the knee, cushion it if you need to. Take your right thumb and pull your hip back and grow out of your waist. Push your big toe a little more forward. Once you've set that hip back, you feel like you can maintain it, bring your right hand back down. So there's a light touch to the ground, a soft right knee. And this is Arda, Hanumanasana, half splits. Now you'll walk your hands forward, pull back into your lunge. Lift up and step into downward dog. And from a downward dog, just coming forward to the push-up position, lower the knees. Come all the way down to your belly. Lift into a cobra, so engage your legs. Lift your front body up, so building that back body strength, lower. Now take your left arm out to the left side. Bend your right knee, take your left cheek to the floor, and you'll roll into a half scorpion up and over the right side, releasing any tension or compression in the front of the hip. Now your right toes, they might not touch the floor, they don't have to, but if they're kind of wavering, can you roll a little further and see if you can find the floor somewhere back there? Now unwind. Back at center, tuck the toes under, take a breath, and then press into your hands back into puppy dog and get really long, but let your forehead rest. Arms are lifted, toes are tucked, hips are rising, a little bit of tilt to your pelvis. And lift into downward dog. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Step to the top of your mat, halfway lift. Now catch your calves, bow forward, let your head go, especially your neck, shoulders. Pull your shoulders towards the ceiling, so away from your ears, your chin into your chest. Take a halfway lift. Exhale, hands to hips, bend at the knees, push from the legs, come up, and release the arms. Go ahead, stretch up, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift. This time, right foot steps back. Fingertips are down either beside or in front of your toes. And you're always trying to put your right foot further back. And as you lean forward, you're pushing into your left heel to drive your right leg up. So if you focus just on lifting the right leg, it gets a little strange on your left leg, but you're going to pop and then pop and about 10. So just find, you can use a little momentum, of course, a little bend in your right knee can help give you a little push. But over time, try to use more of your left leg, your left glute, your left quad. It's going to be a bit of work. Let the heat come. Keep your chin slightly tucked so your neck stays long. Good. 2 more. And then you'll pause in your lunge, lower your knee, and then straighten your left leg, coming into half splits. Now, think about the toes coming up, the knee stays slightly bent. If you have props, use them, get a little higher, because what it'll help is this pelvic bowl. It tends to want to round or tuck under. So you're either tucking or tilting. I want you to tilt the tail up, left hand into your left hip, pull back as you push your left big toe forward. Often feels like you get a little bit longer on the left side of your waist. And if you can maintain that, bring your left hand down.
Just breathe a few breaths here. If the shoulders have crept up, keep squeezing them back. Get lighter on your fingers. Back toes can be pointed too, but push down into that foot either way. If you felt the left hip creep up again, use the hand, draw it back. Walk the hands forward, pick up the back knee, step back, plank, knees up or down, lower, little cobra, long legs, engage the legs, then the heart and the head, forward and down, right cheek kisses the mat, right arm wide, bend your left knee, half scorpion roll, deep breath. Keep your left knee slightly more open to the ceiling. And then gradually roll back to center. Hands under shoulders, tuck the toes, puppy dog. Stretch back, let the forehead kiss the mat. Deep breath. Think of that pelvic tilt. So you're tilting your tail higher. And you'll come into downward facing dog. And step into a cross-legged seated position. So as you come into the middle or the top edge of your mat, a little seated cross leg, and we're going to stretch finally up through the neck and the shoulders. So as you sit cross-legged, you're welcome to take any other hip opener you might want, but take your right arm out to the side. And before you tilt the head directly away, I want you to bring your chin to your chest, then your chin to the sky, and your chin to your chest. And then roll your left ear to your left shoulder so that you feel a little tug down the front or outside of your right ear to shoulder connection. You can stay right here, no problem. Option to take your left hand up and around and tack your fingers just behind your ear, and just the weight of your left hand may be enough to just deepen that expression. Relax your jaw here. So it's really important because all of this jaw, throat, neck, shoulder, pectoral, chest, collarbones are all really intimately connected. And if one area is holding, then others start to take over. Maybe one area is getting to relax, but nothing else. And if everyone does a little bit of work, then everything feels lighter. Move your jaw a couple times. Anytime you notice you might be clenching or holding like you didn't even realize you were. Deep breath. Take your left hand around, catch your left temple or cheek, and come back up with support to center. Take a deep breath here and out. Left arm nice and wide. Before you go to the right, go chin to chest, chin to the sky, chin to chest. Right ear rolls towards the right shoulder. And where you feel you strike into something, well, there's just a little bit aggravated, nothing painful. Lift or lower the chin, and then take your right hand around. Tack the back of the ear, little ridge there, and then let your right shoulder fall. Deep breaths. Sometimes we wake up with a kink in our neck and we're not sure where it comes from, maybe how we slept. It may have actually been something we did the day before that seemed really insignificant. But then the body has its method of reacting. And we're not always privy to what that looks like. And just go with what it feels like. Relax your jaw, relax your throat, keep the breath really big. And slowly you'll release your right hand to your right cheek. Assist the head back to center. Catch your knees. Really simple, chin to chest, chin to the sky. Chin to chest. Round your upper back. So just hold your knees, press your ribs back, and then pull your heart forward, chin to the sky. Chin to chest, round your back. Chin to the sky, open up your chest. Back to center. Relax your shoulders. So even pick them up so purposefully you know when you put them down, there's a difference. As you bring your chin back to your chest, you'll go right ear to right shoulder. A big circle, I should say, slowly. Chin to the sky. And you go left ear to left shoulder. Relax your jaw. Chin to chest. Do 2 more this direction, really slow. 1 breath per circle. So it's an inhale up and open, exhale down and around. Relax your jaw, keep your lips sealed. When you get to the bottom of the 3rd, pause and go the other way. Left ear to left shoulder for 3. All the way up on the in-breath. Back down on the out-breath. Notice along the path of your rotation of your head that your shoulders might be lifting and lowering. Try to keep them both gently down. 1 more. And at the very bottom, head back to neutral and lie onto your back. And as you lie back, bring your knees right into your chest, but leave your head on the floor and let the heads of your arm bones, they might come up when you pull on your knees. So pull them wide across your mat and press the backs of your shoulders down till you feel that flat of your scapula, your wings on your back. Your head, a gentle no shake side to side. Residual tension might really depart here. And then as you sigh, bring your feet to the floor and your arms open by your sides. Let your knees sway gently. They don't even have to go very far, left and right. It's your final rinsing now from top to bottom as we started bottom to top. And if it feels good to land back at center and let the knees fall in, the heels push out, do that. Otherwise, stretch your legs and take a minute here. The practice of yoga and the connection, the union of mind, body, and breath. Notice the depth of connection you return to, the completion of movement, stillness of the body. Yoga is not about necessarily teaching the body something new, but reminding it of something it's always known. Feel free to stay and just absorb that knowing. Trust your intuition. When you're ready, you'll roll to one side and eventually back to a tall seat. Now return your hands to your heart. Bow your head to your hands. Taking a simple Om inhale. Om. Namaste. Thank you for moving with me this morning in this practice. I will see you soon.